Hi everyone, it's Thara, and today I'm going to be actually first let me start this off with, I'm in my alt account, my MYST account, because they already have the Landscape Fox rerunning, and we're about to have it rerunning on global, and I'm going to try and get ahead of it just a bit, so I'm going to open it up in this account, going through it right here. So I'm not going to have anything technically. I just did my 15 free tickets and I got these two. I was kind of like surprised I got 2 6 stars with my 15 free, but anyway, I'm going to run through this over here and then I'm going to go to my main account on global and go over everything else. So everyone by now already knows this set and how cool it is. I don't know anyone who hasn't been, obsessed with the nine-tailed fox, or not obsessed, but like at least appreciated the aesthetic of the nine-tailed fox and all the lore behind it. And this was like one of the first times that we got some nails like this, or maybe it was a different set. I can't really remember, but I just remember being super excited about these and the bracelets, the bangles, and all the wires and everything that came with them. So pretty. And I love these bicep bracelets. Those are gorgeous. The necklace, I honestly can't recall using it too often because it does come up above the neck right here by the collar. Do you see that? That gap kind of doesn't settle well with me sometimes if I'm fighting with it. I do really like the space piece and the coat. I have loved the coat. I love all of these coats like this, and I'm glad that they updated it. It used to only have the option to have the light particles, but they did update it now to where you can have it without the light particles. And of course the ears, I loved these at first and I was really hoping that they would have multiple renditions like the tail does, but whenever it first came out it did not, but they've since updated that too, and now they have a fluffy version, which I'm so excited about. The tails are gorgeous and amazing. They come in 3 renditions. I do love this hairpiece. It has several pieces to it, which is really nice to be able to move around on the head, and then you get this little floating holographic fox. I honestly don't use him too much. He jumps around a lot. And then for our 5-star set, we do get the ice skating set, the ice crystals hair. I do like this one because everything is pulled back. So I always, you've probably noticed me using it whenever I show off the makeup, I put this hair on because in case there's a facial tattoo, it does pull every single hair back. And I love this dress suit thing so much. I have it starlighted. I use it so much. It's borderline obsessive behavior. These short little gloves I don't use too often. The earrings I do like. They're like the high-low style. This headpiece I did not use before, but I do use it now because we can rotate it around, and I like it much better because most of this headpiece was located on the back of the head and you couldn't see it. I do actually really like the crystal shard hairpiece on this, though one time someone said it reminded them of dandruff, and I kind of can't unsee it, but I still love it. The face piece is the same. It goes really nicely with that hairpiece. I do like the stockings that come with this one, and then of course the ice skating shoes are good because the only other pair we've gotten were a 6-star pair, and those are expensive to unlock. And the 4-star set that comes with this light chase is so adorable, and it reminds me of my high school years because this is like what people were wearing. And I love these jeans. I mean, they're coming back in style now, the big baggy jeans with the open on the bottom and everything. They're just so cute. The bracelet I do like. It's very cute and small. The socks I don't really use. The shoes I use I think a couple times, and I do really like this backpack. For our loose 6-star pieces, we do have the Silk Splendor handheld. I don't use it too often because the hand postures for it just aren't that great. You get this headband with a whale like sucking all your brain cells out, and we get this cute little beret that's shaped like a little carrot. It's adorable. And for our loose 5-star pieces, we get this dress, Dark Flames. I like the tattered look of it. We also get this little dress that looks like it was supposed to be a 2-piece, but then they made it like a 2-piece that you would craft in the crafting section, but then they were like, let's make that a 5-star dress, and that's what happened. We do get this big bow in the back of your head. I like that we can move this around now because before I never used this thing. I have used this thing. I definitely use it in a few like meme photo shoots. This bracelet is so, the fork is there, and then of course you get this little collar, which is cute. And for our makeup, we get this amazing facial paint. I love this facial paint so much. And these cute eyebrows. These eyebrows are super cool. I like the little dots above them. And these gorgeous contacts. The lipstick, it does have some glitter on top of it, and it makes it a little bit difficult to use for me because of that. And then this facial paint as well, which I don't use too often because most of the time this area of the face with the facial paints, they do get covered up with your hair. And for our ally, we do get Roy's Radiant Tails. I love this. My aesthetic is completely like the white clothes, the gold accessories, you know, all the daydreamy, lofty, soft, ethereal feels. I will eat that up every single time. It could never be overplayed for me. And for our decom, sorry, my I've got this avatar out in a little masculine there, but we get this dress, and I do not like this dress at all. It is just not for me. It looks like a fashion designer's dream project. They just went ham and did all the things. I really do wish that this neck piece though was a separate necklace, because I actually do really like this collar, but the rest of the dress is just so busy and I can't really see myself using it. Maybe it's because I don't ever use the girl dolls. I think this would look really good on the girl dolls, and you could like dress up as like a Blythe doll or something. I think that would be cute, but it's just not for me. I did end up getting this little raccoon, this little, not raccoon, my goodness, red panda accessory with the little tongue out. His dye options are not the best, and I had to get this Sword of Galaxy lightsaber. That was a must. And another with a dress. I can't actually tell how many dye slots it has. I think it's got 3, maybe 4. It's a little hard to tell. And the panda, if I recall, he's got 2 dye slots, and one of them, like the pink one, is like an overlay. You see the dark tail spots, that is actually the overlay. And then the lightsaber, I do believe, has 2 dye slots as well, if I remember. Could be wrong, maybe it's 3. And for our items, we do get this scene, Twilight City. I love this scene so much. It is gorgeous. I love the lighting. It looks great on my doll. This is one of my favorite scenes ever. You also can have this ocean behemoth furniture piece, which I did get. It is massive. When I say massive, I mean massive. It is absolutely huge, which I will show. You can get this avatar frame, fox pillow, this avatar Zerain, and this chat bubble velvet snow, which I did get, which I hate, and it's the reason I will never ever get another chat bubble from decom again, because of how expensive it is and how crummy for me this turned out to be. You can get this dynamic photo frame, icy star lamp, this cute effect fox speech, and this effect ballad fan. But that is everything for this side, so I'm going to hop over and go back to my main account. So it's actually been a few days. I fell behind on my planning. So actually I didn't fall behind. That new pack came out, and then I wanted to do some of these scenes because I have a method for those and I can get through those in about a couple hours. But anyway, yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this. So again, here's Roy's Radiant Tails ally card. Very handsome. And here's the evolved version. I adore that they use the dress and the little ears and the hat piece, though it is shrunken down and on the side of the head. I do love that they included the outfit inside of this. And maybe one day they will give us male dolls and we'll be able to get all of these outfits for them too. Oh my gosh, that's just hopium, you know? Like, I doubt they'll ever give us male dolls for real. Also, the eyeliner that he has on right now is in Fashion Battle, is it not? No, it most definitely is. Oh my goodness. And the item that you get from evolving him is these Blazing Night Ball shoes. And I'm gonna be real honest, I don't even recognize these shoes, so I have most likely never ever used them, unfortunately. I mean, they kind of look cool. I'd have to look at them up close, but I've never used them. All right, and here they are, and sure enough, I've never used them. Haven't even unlocked a palette for them. But good news, the black is a default dye for them. So your first dye slot is going to be the base of the shoe. Your second is the heel. And your third is the metalwork and the metal on the heel as well. Pretty cool shoe, to be honest. I'm surprised I just didn't even notice it. Maybe it's because the fox outfit took up like all of my heart, and as did the ice skater suit, and these just kind of like sat in the sidelines and I just didn't see them. And here's the Till Realm suit. She's gorgeous, she's lovely, and she's gotten updated dyes, which I really liked. Alright, and here's the suit dyed in all black, so there is, even with the updated pieces, there's still some undyeable areas, like on the flowers right here, on the ribbon on the back, the gold in the hat piece, this like blue gems right here, on the little floating fox's feet, can't dye. You can't dye the glitter in this one, it is always white glitter. These pearls down here and on the shoes, they have a lot of spots on them. And then the flowers have all of this light stuff going on with them. And then I will do the tails separately because I have to change the things on it anyway. But let's go ahead and break this down piece by piece. Let's start with the coat. So your first dye slot comes up from the bottom and it kind of fades into the upper part, though some of the design work does come up as a full color. Your second dye slot is that ombre and it does go down really far. So here they are together. Very, very gorgeous. Our third dye slot are what I like to call the jellyfish parts. Those extra floopy sleeves and then more of the filigree on the main coat. Next we have the lining of the inside of the coat and the edges on the front and more of the flower details. Our fifth is more of those jellyfish sleeve parts and then the extra little coat part that wraps over the main coat. 6 is more lining. 7 is more of the detailing. 8 is your flowers. 9 is the falling particles and the floating particles on the flowers. And 10 is the glitter that decorates the jellyfish part and the flowers. For our dress, we do get 8 dye slots. The first is going to be the top part of the dress, and there's an ombre. The second are these little tassels and the top part of the dress. The third is that underlayer of the dress and the ombre. So together they look like this. Your fourth is the detailing. Your fifth is more detailing. Your sixth is these gems that hang right here and this one little ribbon. Your seventh is more of the detailing and the metalwork. Actually, I think all of this, no, yeah, that's detailing and metalwork. Some. I don't know why they did that. And your eighth is these few pearls right here. For your socks, you do get 3 dye slots. The first is going to be the metalwork. The second is the few pearls that you can dye. And the third is the ribbon, and it does have that bit of like yellow touch they add, so like the red makes it the glitter yellow, the blue makes it white. Let's see, where's another one? Usually whenever you do one of the colors like this, yeah, so I think it's more yellow on this one as well. Maybe it's always yellow, but on light colors it looks lighter because color theory. Alright, for our shoes, we do get 6 dye slots. Your first is going to be these few little red pearls right here. Your second is the metalwork. Your third is more of the pearls. Your fourth is more of the pearls. Your fifth is the top part of the flowers. And your sixth is the bottom. So together they look like this. The particles dye on the first slot. I don't know how I never noticed that. There's no way. I swear. The last slot has always been the particles. Weird. Okay, anyway, moving on. So for our bracelets, they are bicep bracelets. So for your first slot, you get the metalwork. On the second, you get some pearls. On the third, you get more pearls. And on the fourth, you get the little flowers and more pearls. For our necklace, you also get 4 dye slots. The first slot is some pearls. The second is more pearls. The third is the metalwork. And the fourth is more pearls. And for our earpieces, I actually didn't get veins for this because at the time it was only the holographic ears. And I was not wanting, I just didn't need it because the light on them wasn't just what I wanted. I wanted fluffy ears to match the tail, and I'm so happy they upgraded, but I'm also a little upset they upgraded it now because I don't have veins for it, so I haven't been able to use it how I wanted to. And the banner still isn't out yet on global as I'm recording this right now, but trust, I will get the vein for this. But for the fluffy version, your first die slot is all of it. I'm kind of upset about that. I wish it would have had another die slot for the inner part of the ear and the outer part of the ear. And your second die slot is these tiny, tiny little particles that you can see. They are so microscopic that it's almost wasteful. I just don't know why they're like that, but I mean, I do know why they're like that because the holographic version, let me show you. So here's the holographic version dyed all black, and the first die slot dies like this. And the second is all of these sparkles. Now there's so much more sparkles, and I love that these ones are animated, these ears. Like they have a little flick to them. Like every now and then you'll see them like twitch or something. Like that. That was so cute. But the fluffy version, they don't do that at all. They just sit there. It's kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie. Like I wish they would have animated them too. It would have been adorable. And for our hairpiece, we do have this huge hairpiece right here. Your first die slot, it's going to be all these little flowers and gems. And on the back side, it does come down just a bit. Your second die slot is some of the leaves on the branches and a few more pearls. Your third is the metalwork and the base of this big flower in the front, as well as this low half ribbon in the back. Your fourth is the ombre on that front flower, as well as the ribbon in the back. So here's that flower with the two colors together. Our fifth slot is more of the little pearls that decorate around. And our sixth slot is the branch. For the headwear positions, you do get 5 positions. This front one right here is the flower. I usually have that off. I used to have it off all the time because you actually couldn't dye this flower before. So I'm happy they did update that. At least I think they did. Now, there's something about it. I can't remember what it was, but I didn't like the way it dyed or the fact that you just couldn't dye it. There was something about it, but now it's dyeable, except for those blue pearls inside. Your second hairpiece is the little fox right here. You can move him around. Your third piece is this little ribbon thing all by itself, which is pretty neat. I like that we can move this piece around too. Your fourth piece is all of these extra little details right here. These, like, they almost look like little mermaid combs to me. And then there's an extra little hair stick in the back. And your last piece is the branch right here. A pretty cool piece. And for our hair, we do have 3 die slots. The first one is going to be the top half of the hair. The second is going to be the, ooh, it's hard to see, the bottom half ombre. And your third die slot is actually going to be the little metal pieces that decorate in there. For our face piece, we do have 4 die slots. The first is going to be your metalwork. Your second is going to be this one little flower up here and a few beads. Your third is more of the beads. And your fourth is even more of the beads. And our gloves do come in 2 forms. Nothing really changes except for the length of the nails. And I usually have mine on the long version, but I was using these on one of the girl models earlier, and the long nails don't really fit the young models, at least not how I style my young models. So your first die slot for these is going to be a few of the pearls that decorate around. Your second is going to be a few more of the pearls, the ones around the wrist. Your third is the metalwork. Your fourth is the ribbon and the bottom half of the nails. And your fifth is a few more of the pearls, and then, if you can see it, it's another piece of her nail. It's, oh my gosh. There, you see the ring fingernail? That one right there. But your first die slot is going to be the inner part of the tails. Your second is going to be another piece of the inside. Maybe it's a little bit easier to see if I had this dyed black. There, I hope that's easier. It's like the light particles that shoot from your backside. And now that I changed the way that if I use all black, the first slot dyes way more than it looks like whenever you have it dyed all white. Your third dye slot is the tips. And your fourth is the little light particles that come off the end of the tail. Alright, and for option number 2 for the tails, let me turn her around. Your first dye slot is going to be these right here. Your second is going to be the tips of those ones. Your third is the other remaining tails. And your fourth is the tips of those tails. So it leaves some room for some creativity to mix and match your colors. And for the ultra fluffy version, your first dye slot is the tips of all the tails. Your second is the midpoint. There's an ombre on these tails, so this is your middle ombre. And your third is the base. So together that ombre looks like this. The base and the tip definitely are there, but your mid color number 2 does get eaten up a lot by the base of the tail. And your fourth dye slot is the little sparkles that come off the end of the tail. They're a little hard to see, but they are there. These remind me of wiggling worms almost. I know that's probably a weird image, but maybe because how thick and fluffy they are, they just look like caterpillars. I don't know, you know, like it just gives caterpillars to me. And our last piece, our little floating fox. Again, his little feet cannot dye, but he's gonna be hard to showcase, but the first dye slot is his body. The second is the tail and the top of his ears. And the third is the ribbon that goes around the tail. I don't know why they chose to not let us be able to dye the little feet or the little paws. I think that would be super cute. And oh my gosh, it would be even cuter if they gave us a real fluffy version of him too. Like, that'd be so cute. And that is the entire suit. And I did forget to showcase the change. Well, I did sort of, like I switched midway between the dyes. Also, the animation for her entrance is so stinking long. But for the coat, you do again have the two options to have it with the light and the flowers or to have it without that. And here's our IC Glamour 5-star suit. I'm not even kidding, I have this entire thing unlocked and I have over half the pieces starlighted. I love this dress so much. It's gorgeous. There's like a floating little galaxy in there. It's so pretty. Okay, on into it. And here it is dyed all black, so there is just a few pieces that you cannot dye, like some of the hair glitter, the glitter on the dress, and the crystals, and the glitter on the shoes, or the skates, I guess. For our hair, you do get 2 dye slots. The first is going to be the bulk of the hair, and it is a touch hard to see, but the second is these light streaks that come throughout. For our dress, we do have 8 dye slots. The first one is going to be the kind of like your base color for the entire suit. Your second, we're going to start getting into the detailings, but it is the netting up here around the neck and some of the moving like shooting stars. Your third is going to be the ombre on the sleeve, and we're getting into the jellyfish frills. 4 is the other sleeve and more of the frills, and the one that comes down below. Your 5th is more of the detailing on the suit, as well as the little, I don't know what to call those. I always think they're kind of like spines, but I know that's like an awful terminology for those. And then more of the decor on the top half. Slot 6 is tiny little streaks on the main part of the dress right there. Slot 7 is another piece of that. It is only that one piece right there. And slot 8 is more of those little spine pieces, but these ones control the light that flickers through it. So together they look like this, and I think that's so gorgeous, especially whenever you pair it with some complementary colors. It looks so pretty. And for our socks, I did have to take off the dress so you could see the socks in their entirety, but the first dye slot is the lower ombre. The second is the crystals, and do note that the crystals don't really dye true. There is a lot of refractions going on within them, so they are really fun to play around with. And slot 3 is the upper ombre on the socks. So together the ombre looks like this. It is not a big fade, it's a very small transition zone. And for our shoes, we get 5 dye slots. The first is going to be the sheer netting that goes over the sock right there, as well as the skate's top part. Your second is the base of the shoe and the laces. Your third is the eyelets. Your fourth is the crystals. And your fifth is also more crystals. And I did miss it, but with the eyelets, you get the base of the skate. So for our hat, we do get 2 dye slots. The first is going to be the half of the crystals, and the second is going to be the other ones that actually dye true. The first ones are like the crystals on the socks. And for our facial piece, the first dye slot is going to be those crystals, and the second is going to be the other crystals. And with the first dye slot, you do get the sparkles. I forgot to mention that. And for our earrings, we get 3 dye slots. The first is going to be your metalwork. The second is going to be these crystals right here. And the third is these 2 dangling crystals. And for our sheer little gloves, the first dye slot is the sheer glove itself. Our second is the metalwork and the crystals right there. And our third is that single crystal right there. And like I said, I do have this dress starlighted. It's one of the few that I do have starlighted because I love it so much. I love being able to get these super bright colors to slink in there and go throughout because it's just so gorgeous. And whenever it's dyed like its regular color, you can see that galaxy, but you can get rid of that galaxy shade in there if you don't like the galaxy. Just so you know, the second dye slot is that galaxy. So again, with Onslaught 2, you can control the shooting stars and everything in there, as you can see. And then if you go down to slot 5, that one actually controls another part of it. So if you go back to 2, let's take this to yellow. So you've got multiple different layers going on with this. If we were to leave this a light and go back down to this one, if you change it to white, it can get pretty bright back there. And then again, if you take this other one, number 2, down to dark, it gets dark again. But you have some really nice control over this galaxy theme. And again, I love it so much. It's so pretty. Oh my god, I'm gonna say that a billion times. This is without a doubt my favorite dress in the game because of how cool this one aspect of it is. And here's our 4-star suit, Melting Honey. Super cute. I love the jeans that come with it and the backpack. I am so over the crop tops though. I really wish they would stop giving us so many crop tops. But the shoes are also cute. And here she is, all black. So mostly dyeable. The only thing you can't dye is the stitching on the jeans, which I super dislike. I would love to be able to dye the stitching on these, but you just can't. It would be so cool to have that, just the stitching just be like a pop of color. I think that would be so cool. But for our top, you do get 3 dye slots. The first is the main base. The second is the melting heart. And the third is the other pieces of the design on the front. For our pants, The first dye slot is your base color of the jean, and do know it is jean textured, so it has a lot of that built-in shadowy jean-like stuff. You're gonna have a difficulty matching it to other pink stuff if you were to pick the same pink shade right here, you know? And your second slot is the belt. Your third are these little decal pieces, and these decal pieces are overlay pieces, so you will have to be fighting that unless you dye it black, which in case it just covers it up. Your fourth dye slot is the metalwork on it, and your fifth is actually the like shiny jean texture on them, which I think is a really cool touch, though you can't really see it too much. Your jeans have to be a darker color for it to really pop out, but it is really fun and can add so much. For our bracelet, you get 2 dye slots, you get the drippy part and then the bottom chain. For the backpack, you get 3 dye slots, the base of the backpack and part of the little fluffy dangly thing, and then all of these straps and the rest of the little plushy keychain, oh my goodness. And your third is the metalwork. For our socks, you do get 2 dye slots. The first is going to be the base of the sock, and your second is going to be the designs on them. For our shoes, you get 4 dye slots. The first is going to be the bottom of the shoe. The second is going to be the top of the shoe. The third is going to be the other half of the top of the shoe. The fourth is going to be your metalwork. Overall, a super fun outfit, and I love that they gave us these big jeans. I really hope they give us more big jeans like this. Or at least just jeans in general. Like anything more unisex, I would love to have more unisex clothes. Alright, and our first up 6-star loose piece is the Silk Splendor fan. This is how it comes originally dyed. Here's a couple options. And here it is all black. So it's a very sparkly fan. Your first dye slot is going to be the top half of the ombre. Your second is going to be that middle zone. Your third is going to be the next zone. And your fourth is going to be the last zone. So here is all 4 of those, so you can see the gradient a bit more. And then of course your last slot is going to be the fan piece itself in there. And for the hand postures, nothing too crazy. And for this little velvet ocean headband, you do get 3 dye slots. The first is going to be the little whale. The second is its little cheeks. And the third is the little eyes and the headband itself. Our next item is the carrot top beret. There is only 2 dye slots for it. The first is the base and the second is the little leaf up there. Pretty cute. I have actually used this one a lot, as you can tell from the dyes and the fact that I have it extended. And here's our loose 5-star dress, Dark Flames. It has 3 dye slots. The first is going to be the base of the dress. The second is going to be the underdress and then the decal on the front. And your third is going to be the metalwork and the whatever WXHH is. Maybe I am just not saying that correctly. If you know what that means, I would love to know. Not a bad dress. I do like that it is split on the bottom like this. We don't get too many of these. I would love to have more tattered dresses though. It'd be fun. And here's the Stellar Trails dress. There is only 2 dye slots. The first is going to be all of that right there, and the second is going to be the other half, and it dyes the stars on that other half to keep it looking the same. It's cute. It does, like I said, it looks like something that they would give us in the crafting section, because there's just not much to it. And here is the Orange Ocean little hair bow thing. It does default on the back of your head, and it has 2 dye slots, and there is some little blue sparkles that are actually really hard to see. Your first dye slot is all of that, and your second is the bow parts where the sparkles are, and the ombre does eat up quite a lot, but it is pretty, so I don't mind it too much. And you can stick it all over your head right here. And it is scalable, so you can make it super big which is honestly super cute. My goodness, I think I like it way more like this than I do any other way. You can kind of put it on the front of you and make it look like a ribbon dress, you know? What is those romance movies and like the little Christmas ones where the chick's like dressing up and she's like, I'm your present. That's what that reminds me of. And for our gold card, you do get 2 dice slots. The first being the base of the card itself, and the second being the lining on all of it. And for our caged trails bracelet, it has 1 dice slot, and that's it. And for our treat time hair fork dessert thingy, it is also only 1 dice slot. And for our cute little collar, formal etiquette, you have 2 dice slots. The first is the cloth and the center gem, and the second is the band underneath and the little dots on the collar. Super, super cute. And here is our facial paint, Enchanting Face. I adore this facial paint so much. It is so cool. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And here is Flower Hairpins, the other facial paint. This one I don't use too much, mostly because it's not in the center of the face, and most of the time I have a hair on that will cover up this facial paint, and if I have to pick another one, I usually do just so it can be seen. And here's our eyebrows, One-Tailed Fox. Again, I love these eyebrows. They're one of the first ones we got that were lighter, that did not cast that weird lightness onto the skin. It's literally just the eyebrows painted on, and I am so grateful because I really don't like it whenever they add in that extra light. Like these ones, I would love these eyebrows so much more if they just didn't have this little part underneath of it. You know, like, why would they put that on there? And here are the Phoenix Dance contacts. There is a glow around the eye that kind of makes it look like an umbral ring that's, you know, has luminescence to it. There is the landscape around it is like little mountains, and it does look like you're looking up into her pupil, and it's like a sea of stars. And there are little birds that circle within the iris. A very gorgeous pair of contacts. And then we also have these eyebrows, Wonderful Reflection. I do love these straight brows and the little red dots above them. And here's the lipstick, Eternal View. It does come in 4 shades, Red Shadow, Rouge Song, Snow Cyan, and Orange Sun. And you do have the option to have the overlay off completely or on. Here's the first dye slot all the way up and all the way down, second down, and all the way up, third up, and all the way down, fourth down, and all the way up. And for our decom, here is the Hiding Red Panda anklet. Super adorable. The tongue is undyeable though. Your first dye slot is going to be the base of the panda himself, and half of it is an overlay kind of base, and your second slot is the little face right there. So a very cute little piece. And here is our Sword of Galaxy dyed fully black. It is a lightsaber sword, so the end of it isn't going to dye super black. But your first dye slot is the sword itself, and you can get it actually black if you starlight it. Pretty nice. Your second dye slot is the metallic handlebar up here. And your third dye slot are the 2 little metal bits right here. Now for our decom scene, this is one of my favorite scenes they've ever released. I love the lighting on it so much. It is just perfect, and I always pair it with this filter to make it extra spooky. It's just so pretty. But here's the scene in its entirety. There's the castle all the way down there. You unfortunately cannot get all the way down there. You are just stuck on this little platform right here. It would be cool to get over there, but you can't. And here's the sky, so you can have your camera facing this way and your doll up here and just have the most ominous looking person ever just hanging out. And this is your posable area. Again, it is very, very small. You really can't go too far. I mean, you can go up and you can go a touch down, but that's about it. So this scene really is just for right here. And if you don't like this little castle and you want it out for whatever reason, if you have Time's Cranny, you can switch to it and you'll most of the time be able to glitch the castle out, and you can just have the moon appear, which I really like too. Super cool. I mean, it's good for photos. I don't think you can glitch it on home screen, but I will definitely give it a try. Here's the lighting from the front, the lighting from the right, the lighting from the back, and the lighting from the left. And here is the lighting on the darkest and lightest shade in the game. Very pretty. I wish I would have put them in a pose before I tried to do that, but it's kind of cute. If she were a bit taller, she would have leaned on her shoulder right then. But yeah, all the detail is there and they look excellent in my opinion. And there is no like hotspots for this scene. Like I said, it is very small and there's just not too much to it on the platform right here. It is just a super unique scene though, and I do really like it, and I have not regretted it at all since I got it. Alright, and here's the furniture piece, Ocean Behemoth. It is, I actually had to scale it down just a bit because it is too big for me to fit on my lot currently, because I have all this other stuff here, like so, but it has a bunch of bubbles and it is like a whale skeleton sort of. I really don't like the face. I don't know why there's eye sockets right there. It's odd, but I do love this piece right here. The like tall coral and the fish floating around. I did use this in my mermaid cove build. It's a gorgeous piece. And let me see. So it does scale down to about this big and it gets this big. So it does get massive if you need it to be. I don't even know if this will fit on the lot if you make it that big. Yeah, so it won't fit on the lot at the biggest size, but it is cool to have. And you can rotate it and everything, so that's neat as well. You can get really creative with it. Alright, and so I don't know when they did it, but they fixed this chat bubble. It used to not look like this. Like, whenever I got it, whenever you did a long strip, like the third thing I did with all of the hearts, the ears got really squished down and the tail got super, super weird, and I hated how it looked. I was so upset with how it turned out that I vowed to myself to never, ever, ever again get a chat bubble from decom. But they have since fixed it. That squish that happened whenever I first got it is no longer there. So I'm happy they fixed it, but I'm also a little disappointed that they fixed it, because now I feel like I might have missed out on some really cool chat bubbles because of my own fear, you know? But I don't know, it's super cute now. Like it used to not be. I love the little ears on it and the little paw and the little tail. It's adorable and it's everything I wanted it to be whenever I first got it. But yeah, definitely it's a lot better now than it used to be, and I did pair it with the little snow kitten background. But that is everything for this light chase. I hope you found this helpful and useful and deciding if you would like to pull on it or save your diamonds or coupons for another light chase. I will talk to you later. Bye bye.